Let's first take a look at how the Asian markets have started off, and after a swath of green all through the week, it's a swath of red across the Asia Pacific, and all of the indices tracking the overnight losses on Wall Street are trading lower. The Hang Seng down almost 1.25%. The Taiwanese index too trading with losses of 1.5%. Losses also coming in from the Nikkei in Japan, which is down 1.5% as well. The Kospi, the outperformer of the year, is now the underperformer of the day today, 2.5% lower on the South Korean benchmark. So all the Asian indices currently trading with losses of anywhere between 1% to 2.5%. Pull up the GIFT Nifty. They'll give you an idea of how our own markets are likely to start off. Well, it's still a gap down compared to the earlier ticks of 130-point down tick. It's a marginal recovery, if you could call it that. It's a 105-point down tick nonetheless, after all the cool off that we saw from the highs of the day in yesterday's trading session. But to set you up for today's trade, our research team is right here with the trade setup, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and of course the setup on the FNO side of things as well. Firstly, Gaurav is here to get all the market cues we need to watch out for. Gaurav, good morning. What are you watching out for today?
Well, yes, yesterday when we look at Nifty tried to breach that 26,000 mark, but it did not do so. In fact, it gave up all the gains and it ended it with flat gains. When we look at today's setup, now today we are seeing some kind of activities happening around 25,800 puts and 26,000 calls. So these could be the levels for resistance and support. But apart from that, one key thing to watch out for is that today is the result of Bihar election. Now, as per exit polls, some of the exit polls said NDA is at a upper edge at a marginal level. So that is something that will define the market and the tone of the market today. Other than that, when we look at the corporate options, today is the record date for Infosys, record largest share buyback of 18,000 crores. We also have GSCL who has a record date of share buyback of worth 300 crores. And apart from that, Websol Energy System. Now, there will be a stock split in the ratio of 10:1. So let's watch out for these stocks. When we look at the IPO market, we are seeing some kind of action today as well. Tenago Clean Air, today is the last day of subscription. Remember, the IPO has been subscribed more than 3 times. We've got Capillary Technologies who will come up with the IPO today worth more than 800 crores. And we will also be having Pine Labs getting listed. Remember, this IPO was also subscribed almost 2.5 times. Other than that, yesterday, when we look at the trading, Ashok Leyland, Muthoot Finance, Vedanta, Laurus Labs, all these players were at all-time high levels. So let's watch out for these also. Remember, Muthoot Finance also came up with good set of numbers. And lastly, when we look at the earnings calendar, today is the last working day of our earnings calendar. So we've got important results like Siemens, Glenmark Pharma, Exide Industries, Natco Pharma, Tata Motors Passenger Vehicle. Now, all these stocks will be in our radar today.
It's a long list. It's the final day of the earnings season, but a long list nonetheless. Gaurav, thank you for that. And to take you through that long list in greater detail, Winnie is here to tell us more on that. Winnie, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Urmas. It's Friday, but that list is just getting longer. Luckily, it's just the last day of earnings season today. So let's keep an eye out on Hero Motor first. Steady quarter that's coming in Q2 FY26. Profit growth of 16%, revenue growth of 16%, and double-digit volume growth. That is something that has overall aided the revenue growth for the company. Even when you look at the margins, they've come in at 15% versus 14.5% last year. Margins are at a multi-quarter high, this 15%. So keep an eye out on that. We're expecting some positive move maybe we could see here. Jubilant Food, good quarter again coming in for the company. Good performance in terms of revenue, 20% growth there. Profits of the company, 54% growth there. And margins have remained stable at 20.3%. So keep an eye out on that. NSCL, again, NSDL, I beg your pardon. That's again a one that has reported a good set of numbers. Payments bank business, that's done well for the company. Overall profit growth of 23%. Margin improvement that has come in as well. 32% is what the EBITDA margin has come in at, around 150 basis point improvement on a sequential basis. And revenue was up by around 28% on a sequential basis. Voltas now, Voltas has reported a weak set of numbers this time. When you look at it, revenue largely in line, but that major miss came in on the profit and the margin front. So margin at 3% versus 6.2%. Profits just at a decline of 74% as well. And revenues fell by 10% versus expectation of 9%. This decline obviously was that EC segment, which has not done well. PNC Infra, what we're seeing coming in, that revenues are down by 21%. Profits of the company, yes, they're seeing an increase in terms of profit, but there's a one-time exceptional gain this time of 162 crores. The management has lowered the FY26 revenue guidance to 5%, so that is going to be a key factor, and we could expect red come in here, and they expect EBITDA margins at 13% for FY26. Afcon's infra, that also we're expecting red here on the screen today because revenue is just a 1% growth, margins at 11% versus 11.6%, and they too have cut their revenue guidance for FY26 to 10% from previous 20 to 25%. GMR Airports, that we're expecting a good quarter that's coming from the company, so expect green here, 47% growth in terms of revenue. Margins have seen a sharp improvement as well, and the company has swinged into a profit this time versus a loss last year. Akums Drug, red expected here, weak set of numbers from the company, profits down by 38%, revenue seeing a decline of 1% as well, and margin contraction of around 200 basis points. Tega Industries, on the other hand, good set of numbers, a steady quarter come from the company, revenue seeing a 15% growth, mainly led by the equipment side of the business, that has seen a 56% growth, and they've maintained their margin guidance as well as a whole full year FY26 revenue growth, so could see green here.
Vinny, thank you for that update. Lastly, Sudarshan joins in with cues from the FNO space. Sudarshan, opportunities for both bulls and the bears yesterday, but what's the FNO data indicating?
So two big cues. Bihar election result will start getting the trends or say leads from 8 a.m. And on the global front, in the absence of any major cues after government shutdown was lifted, investors have taken profit out, like profit booking we have seen yesterday, and there was a big fall in the Wall Street. Now for today, following these global cues, GIFT Nifty is indicating a start with cuts of around 100 points. As of now, it's down almost 108 points. On the domestic front, the data has improved in the last few days. Look at the flows. In the cash market, FI sell figure was just rupees 400 crore, while DIs have bought more than rupees 3,000 crore. In the index futures too, FIs have turned buyers and they have bought more than rupees 450 crore. They have reduced long positions, but at the same time, they have also reduced short positions, and here reduction was more than 3,300 contracts. In the options data on the call side, 26,000 and 26,200 have seen maximum addition in the open interest. Also, premium has increased for both these options, and on the put side, we have seen 25,500 put that has seen maximum additions in the open interest. Support for Nifty 25,750, very important level. Resistance remains around 26,000. Yesterday we saw that Nifty crossed intraday 26,000 level, but we have to see that if comfortably Nifty breaches or crosses that level. For Nifty Bank, support 57,900, resistance remains around record high of 58,600, and above that, in the band, sale remains in the band, and stocks amongst stocks that will be in focus, Muthoot Finance has come out with a very strong set of earnings, so keep an eye on that. And two stocks, Supreme Industry and Astral, might be in focus because government has withdrawn the export control order.
Sudarshan, thank you for that update. And now